Good afternoon, folkers. Snapzilla Gorilla, aka The Definition, hitting y'all with another video. Man, this one is funny. Your boy Joe Biden, he don't take no shit, boy. I tell you what, Bobby. Your boy Joe Biden don't take no shit. So, I'm sure most of you heard, especially those who, you freedom lovers who follow me, who are very concerned about the Second Amendment and our right to keep and bear arms, right? So, apparently, Joe Biden was in Detroit, and you guys know what happened there. A guy confronted him about Joe Biden saying that he was going to take away our guns, our AR-15, which he did say. And then, Joe Biden proceeds to tell me he's full of crap and, all that stuff. But I'm going to get into a CNN video, right? I'm going to get into the most important part of this CNN video because you really have to pay attention to the shit they put out. You really got to pay attention to the nuance and the subtleties here, okay? The CNN think they slick, but I got their number, all right? Pay attention to this part.
You have, white factory workers, mostly white men, who own guns, who think the Democrats are going to take them away. Joe Biden today having one of those moments.
Now, who can see what's going on here? Mostly white factory workers who own guns. Why is that important? Why does it matter what color these factory workers are? Why does it matter what color these gun owners are? How does he know that how does he know that most of the white factory workers own guns? How does he know that? You see, this is what this is what they trying to do, man. This is what the fourth branch of government, the media / the propaganda branch of the government is trying to do. They're trying to make it seem like white folks are the only ones who care about owning firearms. That's what they want you to think. They want you to think that the majority of gun owners are white dudes, right? White men who think the government is going to take their guns away. You see, technically that might be true, but they don't want people to think that there are black folks or Hispanic folks or people of different races who enjoy their right to keep and bear arms, who are gun owners and want to protect those rights. They want you to think it's just white people that want these rights. And it couldn't be further from the truth. You know what I'm saying? So, I just wanted to point that out. They're always doing this. But see, the agenda of going after our rights to keep and bear arms has to be upheld by this idea that the domestic terrorist is the white man, and the white man is going to take the gun that they legally purchased and going to go shoot up a mall or shoot up a school. That's what they want you to think, because they can't tell you that it's a black man that's going to do that, because most dangerous black men are gang members, and they don't legally own the firearms, right? They don't legally own the firearms. They can't use that, because they can't use that as a reason to go after legal gun owners, right? Legal gun owners. They can't use the fact that these criminals, and don't get me wrong, there are white criminals who illegally own firearms, but they're that's neither here nor there. Y'all get what I'm saying? They're not going to point to the black gang. They're not going to point to black people who commit crimes with illegal firearms, because that would defeat the purpose. They're not trying to get rid of illegal firearms. They don't care that illegal firearms are out on the streets, owned by criminals who actually victimize people. They don't care about that, because the more victimizers there are, the more victims they are. And the less people the less amount of people that own firearms to protect themselves from criminals, the better, because that just makes us rely on the government even more. And they love when we rely on them. They love when we have to lean on them. You see what I'm saying? So they can't use black gang members. They can't bring them up, because that's not going to help. That's not going to help infringe on our rights to keep bear arms. So they had to go after the white men that are enthusiasts, and they go out and shoot, and they have 100 round drums. You see them on the YouTube channels. So that's the whole point behind that statement. These people know what they're doing. When every little thing they say, Every little thing they do, all these nuances, all these slick talks, all the double speak is very deliberate. They have it on lock. They know the shit. So, I just wanted to point that out. There are plenty of black people that aren't criminals, that don't create victims of other people, that want the rights to keep and bear arms. They love it. They're just not going to highlight those people, because the black folks that don't, that are stuck in this left-right paradigm, and they're liberals, these black liberals, they're going to go along with the party line. They're not going to go against. They're going to say that because, oh well, I grew up in the hood, so I know what guns can do to people. Blah blah blah. It's not the guns doing anything to people. It's the people that's holding the gun that's doing it to the people. Yes, you grew up in a bad neighborhood. You were witness to gang violence. You saw all kind of tragedies. But these are the people that are committing these crimes are not legal gun owners. So wouldn't it be prudent for the people that aren't criminals in those areas to own firearms to protect themselves from the criminals? Why would you want to give up that right? Well, because they want you to think that a white man is going to run through your neighborhood and shoot everybody up with legal firearms. You see what I'm saying? It does them no good to go after criminals with firearms. It doesn't do them any good. Not to mention, it's already illegal to kill. It's already illegal to steal and rob somebody. That shit is already illegal. But guess what? Criminals don't care. They're still going to commit crime. They're still going to kill people. They're still going to rob people. They're still going to steal from people. They're still going to rape. They're still going to do all the shit that they're going to do. Whether a firearm is legal or not. Whether you take an AR-15 away or not. These cartels, they own all kind of shit. They got rocket launchers, grenades. Can you imagine in Southern California if they illegalize all these firearms and all this other shit? Can you imagine what could happen? How the cartels could flood Southern California and start having their way with the state? Do you think that the police are equipped to deal with the cartels that can come up in Southern California? Oh man, they can't even. All they can have are wheel guns. All they can have are blah blah blah. Well, we got rocket launchers. We got this. We got AK-47 fully automatic. We got fully automatic AR-15s. We got fully automatic this, fully automatic that. SMGs, submachine guns. Shit, we got rocket propelled grenade launchers. Can you imagine? Can you imagine any group that is looking forward to taking advantage of the people in the community? Can you imagine the boost you'll give them if the Democrats, not even the Democrats, the government, if the government, even the Republicans, even Donald Trump with the red flag law bullshit, Dan Crenshaw with the TAPS Act, can you imagine if they get their way and they could take the guns from the people? Can you imagine who would take advantage of us? Who would take advantage of that fact aside from the government? It's not just the government. Anybody, the Yakuza, the triads, you know what I mean? The gangs. Wow. So as people who call themselves citizens of the United States, why would you want to make that possibility greater? Why would you want to amplify the possibility of our communities being terrorized by not just criminals, gangs, cartel, but also the biggest gang in the world, the Big Blue Gang? I'm not talking about the Crips. I'm talking about the Popo. Can you imagine? You know what I mean? I mean, you can't even go in your back pocket to get your concealed carry permit without getting shot in the chest, like Philando Castillo. So can you imagine what would happen if we didn't have those rights? If they took that right away? If they get their way, what could happen to us as a people? Oh man. You think Iraq was bad? You think Venezuela was bad? Man, no, Pepe. It would be 10 times worse than that. Can you imagine what would happen if they passed all these laws they want to pass and they started trying to confiscate shit? What kind of uprising there would be? What kind of bloodshed there would be? Why would you want that? Why would you want that to even be a possibility? Man, let me continue this video. All right, so right here, I'm pretty sure you guys didn't hear, but the worker said, the auto worker said that you said that you were going to take our guns away, and Joe Biden said you're full of shit, right? And then someone was trying to stop him from being an idiot, and he told her to shush twice. Okay, so then he's saying right now, he's saying you can't yell fire. You can't say fire, right? That's not free speech. Okay? He said you can't yell fire. That's not free speech. He's going into free speech now. He's saying you can't. It's the thing. You can't yell fire in a crowded movie theater. You can't yell fire in an airport. You can't yell this. Like when I was working at the airport, you couldn't say. Okay, so let's say, as an example, I was doing construction in LAX, and when you mount things to the deck, a metal deck with concrete poured into it, sometimes you use anchors, or sometimes you use these little these pins that you use a powder actuated tool to put into it. Okay, so typically on a construction site that's not at the airport, if you're going to use this powder actuated tool, which is basically a gun, it's a gun, you have to yell shooting. Okay, you have to yell shooting to let people know that you're going to let off into the deck with this pin that you're using. Okay, you have to yell shooting, and then you pull the trigger, and boom, it shoots the pin into the concrete. Then you can hang whatever you need to hang from it. You can't do that at LAX. You're not allowed to do it at LAX. Okay, because it could trigger people into thinking there's a shooting and cause all kind of chaos. Okay, now yelling fire, he said it's not free speech. Like yelling fire in a crowded movie theater. It is free speech. It is free speech. You know, yes, they gone to the Supreme Court and try to interpret the First Amendment and say, well, you can't say certain things that could trigger this and cause a riot and this, that, and the third. Yeah, they did, but that's still a violation of the First Amendment. The First Amendment clearly dictates that you have a right to free speech, point blank and period. There shall be no law. That's what it says. There shall be no law. And then they created a law to outlaw saying fire in crowded spaces like movie theaters and whatnot. That's still a violation of free speech. Now, could you cause problems? Could you incite a riot? Can you cause a stampede? Can you make people go crazy and end up people end up getting injured and whatnot? Yeah, that's a huge possibility. But you still have the right to do it. Now, every action has an equal and opposite reaction. If you do that and you do cause problems, well, then the people can, decide how to handle it. You know what I mean? But you still had the right to do it. See what I'm saying? The fact that they outlawed it, that's an infringement. They just violated the Constitution in that regard. Okay? Shit. But if you end up saying fire in the movie theater and people look at you and there's no stampede and nothing happens, you don't cause any damage, no one gets hurt, you're still supposed to get punished for it? What if you didn't know what you were doing? What if you just said, oh, man, my bad, I didn't mean to say that? Or what if you saw a good part of the movie, you're like, oh, that shit was fire, right? You supposed to get locked up for it? Well, that's what the law says. You're supposed to get fined or I don't know exactly what the law, the lettering of the law, but it's not okay for you to say fire in the movie theater, but the cat in the movie, the actor, can say fire. I understand that. They can tell the difference between an actor saying fire from the screen and someone saying fire. I get it. But come on, man. Let's see what else goes going on here.
On gun control, saying the gentleman on the floor was exaggerating it, that he's not coming to take away their guns. But he's called the man, he said he's full of, and then he called them a horses. it's noon or it's 9 o'clock out in California. I'm not going to fill in the blanks there. Again, some people see that as charming. A candidate who's willing to air it out.
Charming. Now, he said he exaggerated. How? How, Sway? You did. You did tell people. You did tell several interviewers that one guy was like, people have concerns that if you're elected president, you're going to come for their guns. He said, bingo, if you have an AR-15. Now, if you want to get technical, like me, and you want to go back to your military training, an AR-15 is technically not a gun. Okay, it's a rifle, right? But you get the drift. You are going after people. The majority of people out here, they understand that an AR-15 is a gun. You did say you were going to go after guns. So where's the exaggeration? Where is the exaggeration? It ain't nowhere to be found up in here. So anyway, y'all get what I'm saying. White folks are not the only folks that care about the right to keep and bear arms. They're not the only gun owners, even though they want you to think that. Even though they want you to think that if people continue to have the right to keep and bear arms, they're going to shoot up a school near you automatically. Like it's a given, right? No, that's not a given. We have the problem is when you create gun-free zones, you're going to have easy work for mass essers. Okay, I'm not going to say that word, mass essers. You know what I'm talking about. You're creating a fish in the barrel situation when you create gun-free zones. Get rid of gun-free zones. Go to constitutional carry. Get rid of all gun laws. You will see a drop in the crime rate. I guarantee it. Because there are towns and there are states where they do have constitutional carry. Like Missouri has the entire state has the constitutional carry, and they have outlawed any federal bans and taxes and whatnot. Now, St. Louis has a high crime rate, but I'm not sure if they have, separate laws that restrict people's rights to keep and bear arms. But if you live in St. Louis, Missouri, and there is constitutional carry, and St. Louis doesn't have its own separate laws that restrict your right to keep and bear arms, you best to do it, because the crime out there is crazy ridiculous. But in states other than that, where there's high crime, there's typically a lot of gun restrictions. Okay, like in Chicago, like Illinois is a red state essentially, and Chicago is a blue city. Okay, now there is no ban on assault weapons in the state of Illinois. There's no ban on assault weapons. There's no ban on extended what they call large capacity magazines, right? But in the city of Chicago, it's restricted, not prohibited, but restricted. Like you can't take it places, you can't do this, you can't do that. You gotta leave it in the house. You can only take it to the range. I'm not sure. They have pretty good. Illinois has is a shall issue. Illinois is a shall issue concealed carry state. So if you apply and you pass all the tests, right? You don't have a criminal background. You pass the safety test and all the other stuff. They shall, which means they have to. They're obligated to give you your concealed carry license. I don't know how that plays in Chicago, but I'm pretty sure they restrict places where you can take that firearm, like schools, federal buildings, public parks, local parks. I know in state parks in Illinois, you can conceal carry there. Like they still have restrictions on where you can carry, and they have created thusly gun-free zones. See what I'm saying? So get rid of all that. Get rid of all that shit. Get rid of gun-free zones. Get rid of all these laws, because there are already laws against committing crimes. Owning a firearm is not a crime. Owning it is not a crime. Carrying it is not a crime. Keeping it hidden in your waistband is not a crime. Killing is a crime. Robbing is a crime. Extortion is a crime, right? Blackmail is a crime. Kidnapping is a crime. Rape is a crime. Child molestation is a crime. All these things are already crimes. Anyway, that's all I got for now. Joe Biden is a hot mess, but I think that's deliberate. Why would they keep this man on the campaign trail, knowing that he's out of his freaking gourd? Because it's entertaining. People are going. It's going to be sensationalized every time he does or says anything. It's going to be a sensational story, and it's a distraction. Meanwhile, there are damn near 30 deaths attributed to the coronavirus, and like 900, almost 1,000 cases now. Almost 1,000 cases in the United States, and almost 30 deaths, and that was about 30 minutes ago. The last I saw that, 30 deaths, almost 1,000 cases. Now, y'all know how I feel about the so-called coronavirus, right? Y'all know how I feel about that. Get your vitamin C popping, get your vitamin D popping, exercise, and this is one thing you got to do. When you exercise, all right, when you exercise, your body, your muscles are breaking down, especially when you do resistance exercises. Even when you do cardio, your body's breaking down, and it's going to be vulnerable to anything. It's going to be more vulnerable. But your body will also be more ready to absorb shit. So it's best, if you're going to exercise, make sure you're taking in vitamin C. Make sure, I got vitamin C powder, right? Straight up vitamin C powder. And I have pills that have vitamin C and zinc in it, okay, that I take. But when I do my exercises, I break open that pill, pour that in my water, in my recovery drink, and along with the electrolytes that I put in there. And your body absorbs the vitamin C and boost the immune system, because your immune system is going to be a little bit more vulnerable after you exercise, because everything is opening up. Things are more able to get in and invade, so you want to make sure you don't exercise without vitamin C. They tell you to take amino acids, right? I feel like vitamin C is a little more important than the amino acids. The amino acids is going to repair your muscles. That's how you build muscle after exercise. You don't want your muscles being torn down too much. So in order to help your body recover and to rebuild the torn muscles that you have created during your exercise, it's good to take your branched chain amino acids. But you also want to get the vitamin C in there as well. Vitamin C and the zinc, and even the vitamin D. I eat smoked oysters. Those are bomb. Smoked oysters out of a can. Those are pretty good. And sardines, mackerel, cod liver, things like that, packed with vitamin C. And also the cod liver has many other nutrients inside of it as well. So these are things that you could take in after you exercise. So let's say I do fasting cardio with some resistance training, and I make sure that I time I intermittent fast. I make sure that I time my fast to be broken right after my exercise, so that I can take in the amino acids, so that I can eat my cod liver or my mackerel or my sardines or oysters, and that helps boost my immune system. That helps keep me going. So that's just a little bit of advice. I know it's a little bit of a digression, but it is what it is. Y'all know how I get down. I try to keep it short, but it is what it is. So y'all stay up. Don't be fooled. White people are not the only people that enjoy their right to keep and bear arms. Don't let them fool you. And don't think that if you continue to retain your right to keep and bear arms, then a white man is going to shoot up the whole block and shoot up the whole neighborhood. You know what I mean? Y'all know what I'm getting at. All right, man. Y'all stay up. Much love to you. Peace.